All right, and we are back. Okay. We're going to start with problem number 6. So in problem number 6, right, we are talking about two cars competing in a race at a racetrack. The first wants to win and speeds at 80 miles per hour, while the second car unfortunately stalls for 4 minutes, then bolts at 90 miles per hour to try to win the race. That's very unsafe driving, okay, so please do not practice this at home. Notice how we're in miles per hour, and then minutes, okay? So we need to convert our miles per hour into minutes so to make sure that we are in same unit of time, okay? So to convert 80 miles per hour, remember you can think about this as in chemistry, 80 miles per 1 hour, all right, times 1 hour in 60 minutes, all right, hours cancel, 80 divided by 60 gives you 4/3 miles per minute. So remember, you have this thing, dirt distance equals rate times time. All right, so my distance equals rate, which is 4/3 miles per minute, times the time, which is t. Okay, that is my first equation. All right, my first equation. Okay, remember, now doing this, what am I really doing? I'm doing 80 divided by 60. Okay, so here I'm going to do 90/60, which gives me 3/2. Now, remember when writing this, if t represents time that the first car started, okay, if we think about that, then the time the second car started was 4 minutes after that. All right, so we have 3/2 times the first car starting at time t minus 4, which was 4 minutes later than that. All right, make sure you use this. It's not the same as writing 3/2 t minus 4 like that. It's not the same thing, okay? Not the same thing. We want to make sure that we use that 4 as a unit of time. This is a unit of time. If I had just the minus 4 on the end, it'd be our starting point. Because if I multiply this out, you can also leave it like that. If I multiply this out, 3/4t would be minus 6. It's 3/2t, I'm sorry. All right, minus 6. Make sure that you put this in parentheses. Please put it in parentheses. Okay. All right, so where do the two equations intersect? All right, so when they intersect, remember I have d equals and d equals, which means I can set my two equations equal to each other and solve for t. And that will tell me the time that they intersect. All right, if I subtract this 3/2, 4/3 minus 3/2 gives me negative 1/6t equals negative 6. Divide by negative 1/6. Make sure if you're doing this in your calculator, right, you can either divide by negative 1/6 or multiply both sides by negative 6/1. All right, so t equals 36 minutes. Okay, where do they intersect? Well, after 36 minutes, so I have to actually figure out, well, what, after how many miles, though? How many miles? This is our time. We want to find our miles as well. So I'm going to plug it into my first one because that seems like the easier option. So I'm going to do 4/3 times 36, which gives me 48. They intersect at this point, 36, 48. Okay. Now, all right, so that's our output right there. So now we want to make sure also that you should also be checking these, then check your answer by graphing on your calculator. I'm not going to do that on here, but make sure you do that. Plug these into your y equals, see where they intersect, okay? Where does this point, what does it represent within the context of the problem? Please do not say they intersect. This is the point where they meet. Use the actual values here. After 36 minutes, they intersect. We could say, let's not say at, but 48 miles past the starting point. Later or past your starting point, anything's around those lines. All right. That is number 6. That's a great problem. Number 7. Here we go, number 7. Okay. The price of a new car, including 7% tax, sales tax, is $24,075. What was the original price? Okay, so we could call the x equals original price. All right, so I have my original price plus a 7% sales tax. Well, how do I write a percent? As a number. I have to write it as a decimal. You could remember you could do 7 divided by 100 to get 0.07x equals 24075. So why do we add and not subtract? We add because this says including. We're including our sales tax. It's not on sale, it's sales tax. So it's going to be included. You're going to pay the sales tax. So that is why we add here. So it's 1.07x equals 24075. Divide both sides by 1.07, and you should get x to be $22,500. Wow, that is our original price. Yes. Long pause. Here we go. Number 8. 2 more left. It's a sad day. Here we go. Number 8. From the top of a cliff, which is 136 meters above the water. So I'm going to stop there. Draw a picture. I got 136. All right. The angle of depression, on a boat on the water is 19 degrees. So if my angle of depression is not here. Okay. The angle of depression, you think of it as if I'm looking straight out and then looking down. Okay. Look at, there's a little visual. Looking out and looking down. So if I'm standing up here, I'm looking straight out, my angle of depression is actually 19 degrees there. Okay? That's where our 19 goes. Well, the beauty of this, I'm also going to drop it down here as well. How far is the boat from the bottom of the cliff? Here's X. Here's my little boat with my guy on top of it. Saying hi. He's saying hi to you. All right? So we have to use trig. How far is the boat? I have to solve for the missing side. Well, if this is my reference angle here, the 19, then this side would be considered the opposite. Here's my right angle, so that's the hypotenuse. Here's the adjacent. I think about my trig functions. Which trig functions uses opposite and adjacent? It's tangent. So I'm going to take the tangent of my reference angle, which is 19, and set it equal to the ratio, 136 over x. Okay. I want to solve for x. Multiply both sides by x. X. Let's go tangent of 19 times x equals 136. Remember that tangent of 19 is an actual number, has an actual value. Tangent's the operator for an operation of 19 degrees. Okay. So this is like as if it were 2x equals 136. I divide both sides by the tangent of 19. Oops. Hey, you know. Divided by the tangent of 19. All right. When you do this in your calculator, do 136 divided by tan of 19. Make sure your mode is in degrees as well. You do not want to do this in radians. All right. Do not do 136 divided by 19. Because we're not dividing by 19, we're dividing by the tangent of 19 degrees. Okay, so it's 136 divided by 19, and I got about 394.97 meters. My answer. Whoa. Okay. Last one. All right, this is one that people struggle with a lot. Okay, this is a tough problem. All right, so let's say my cotangent is 4. All right, cotangent is the reciprocal function of tangent. So this is a positive number. Cosine is less than 0, which makes it negative. Find all 6 trig functions, leave your answers exact. Okay, so now we have to figure out where to draw our triangle. Well, where is cotangent or tangent, since they are reciprocals? Positive. Tangent is positive here and down here. Now we also have to decide where is cosine negative. Cosine is negative, which is our x values on the left side. All right, so where do they overlap? They overlap in our third quadrant, okay? Since they overlap in our third quadrant, my triangle will be drawn down here in quadrant number 3. Remember, your theta should always go there, okay? Should be a reference angle. So cotangent is 4 over 1, right? Well, in this quadrant, first of all, tangent is O over A, opposite over adjacent, so cotangent is going to be adjacent over opposite. In this quadrant, though, the most important part to understand is this is y over x. Here, y and x are both positive. Here, y and x are both negative. So we need to make sure that although our numbers are positive here, we write them as negative numbers there on our triangle. Okay, make sure you don't make that mistake. Okay, think about it logically. If tangent's y over x, then cotangent is x over y. Well, that makes if we think about x moving to the left on the graph, x is negative over here. If we move down, y is negative down here. So they must be both negative. To find my third side, I do -1 quantity squared plus -4 quantity squared equals c squared. Okay, make sure if you plug this in your calculator, put -1 in parentheses and the squared on the outside. 1 squared plus 4 squared, that's 1 plus 16 is 17 equals c squared. Square both sides, so this is the square root of 17. Alright, all 6 trig functions. Here's my opposite, my adjacent, and my hypotenuse. Tangent was already given, or cotangent was already given to us. So, first one, sine of theta equals O over H, -1 over root 17. Well, you must rationalize your denominator. So multiply by root 17, multiply by root 17. So this is -root 17 over 17 for sine. Cosecant of theta will be the reciprocal here. So root 17, over -1 or -root 17. Okay? Time is taken away. Cosine of theta is A over H, so -4 over root 17. Cannot have a square root in the bottom. Rationalize, multiply the top and bottom by the square root. The numerator and the denominator. To get -4 root 17 over 17. Secant of theta, inverse here, it's going to be reciprocal, -root 17 over 4. Cotangent was given to us. Cotangent of theta is 4, so tangent of theta is 1 over 4. 4. Alright, there are our 6 trig functions. Hopefully you can read those. Alright. Hopefully that worked out well for you. Okay. Make sure you practice. Maybe do the review packet a couple times. Alright. Have a great day. Let us know if you have any questions. Adios.